To all of you, my good friends who have sacrificed this day to come and spend it with me and my family, a hearty thank you. My days of making speeches is long over. So all now I do is to sit and listen. So, ngesiXhosa, nibamba ngazibini kunu nonke, ningadinwa nangomso. Nigoduke niye emakhaya safely. Enkosi.
General Smuts thanked us for our subservience, not by lessening the load of oppression, but by likening us to the donkey. With the Native Administration Act number 38 of 1927, the Governor General became the Supreme Chief of the Natives. What colossal cheek. With power to appoint, recognize anybody as chief or paramount chief of any tribe. Now, when that act was passed, people just disregarded, said, but that is nonsense. But when these things are made, you see, it's not for fun. Now, in 1938, the young Pondo, now monarch, Mandlonke, died. And in 1939, the government used those powers now to appoint their own nominee, Bota Sigao, as chief, as against who the Pondos thought should be Nelson. And for the first time now, the government had a hold on the Pondo chieftainship, because now the incumbent was their man. There was a new voice that was becoming very loud. The Nationalist Party now, with its Herrenvolk philosophy now and its new neo-Nazi outlook, was bringing out this policy of apartheid. And the theoreticians, Dr. Verwoerd, Iselen, and all the others, for the first time now, we had always thought that, you see, even in our, that the English are the slamboggers, crafty fellows, you see, who are very clever and deceitful. But no, not the Afrikaners. This is just blunt and gruff, you see. No bluff with the Afrikaner, and Kafr, and that's it, eh? But no, not these apartheid. They were the biggest liars we had ever seen south of the equator. And when they spoke about this apartheid, no, there is no oppression here, no inferiority or superiority. These are separate freedoms, that's all. Except that they were in charge of these freedoms, and they were the ones who were deciding who must have what, you see. But what I'm unhappy about, who will be leading the masses? Who will manage that? Because now you can't, people with their anger must be properly focused, and there must be leadership which now is long-sighted and is able. Otherwise, don't just use the people as cannon fodder, because now people can get hurt and achieve nothing. In September 1955, in one fell swoop, the government dismissed dozens of Carter members, including the whole executive of Carter. Now, the detractors of Carter were not sympathetic. In fact, the prevailing mood was, quote, The fools should have known better. They asked for it. Close quote. These teachers had not broken any rules or regulations and had not absconded from work. On the contrary, they had strained every heart, nerve, and sinew to ensure that despite all the handicaps they worked under, the results in their schools should not be inferior or poorer than those in the well-equipped schools, and in that they succeeded. Carter was not at the low level of being merely a trade union concerned with teachers' salaries and working conditions. They were victimized and crucified for defending the right of the African child to receive true and unadulterated education. Now look, man, in our time, adversity, there was no security there. What was there now was our own rules. That now here, which were not forced on us by the authorities. The senior students of their own volition put this before us. Everybody within the premises by certain hour sleeping time. No one sleeps out. No liquor on the university premises. It's not the wardens. Those are the regulations by the students. So that there, it was unthinkable, and it never happened, that there could ever be any rape of a student by a student. On one occasion, we were returning from conference with Mbeki, 2 buses. Mbeki had been moving towards now the militant stand. When we arrived at Somo, the river was in flood and water was over the bridge. And we were going in Masai buses, so that people were afraid, dangerous. All right, the first bus went, many people left the bus, and only when they saw that that bus was across did they agree. And then the second bus now was carrying an overload. And Mbeki was the only one who refused. He was left on the other side. So that 2 people now had to go and fetch him, take off their boots, take off their trousers. And when we were asking, yes, why do these men put us to all this trouble? Look, we must not all die. There must be one person must remain to tell the tale. I don't like this emphasis on apartheid, as if before apartheid.
Things were right.
You see,
that's another
that
thing.
is misleading. Colonialism and imperialism, that was a dirty thing. I remember when we were still students at Lovedale, you know, all this propaganda. You are the cream of your people. That's what the children are to. You are the cream of your people. And then these people are referred to as barbarians, so that as we were boarders at Lovedale, those students outside were referred to as Jaguars. The first time I learned of the term Jaguar was not now in biology about animals and stuff. No, it was there. Referring to the as the Jaguar. Don't associate as the Jaguar. Don't associate with this Jaguar. In other words, you see, sowing divisions about misleading and so on. How can you tell me now? You want to tell me that Julius Malema is my son, because we have the same color. What have I got to do with the scoundrel? Now, you tell me now that, you see, why must you want to put me with thieves like scoundrels like Zuma? The man is a crook. I know how he escaped. Because if the case had gone to court, he would have got the same as Jack Salibi. And they know that. That is why they prevented the case. Now, you want to tell me that now, you must say now, Zuma is my brother, the thief? No. So we were emancipated from that type of rubbish, man, long ago. Never, man. Only last year, this university student, they had invited now Zuma to come here. Now, if at this time you don't know who Zuma is and what harm he has done to this country, then you should not even be at university. You should be. We must know our past and be able to interpret it correctly. We learn, or we were supposed to learn from our history so that we don't repeat those mistakes. Unfortunately now, we don't pay particular attention to our history. And as a result, we keep on making those same mistakes. One other thing, if there is anything missing in South African politics, it is principle, it is scruple, it is honesty, it is integrity. All that is happening is that it is about self. We must learn now, and also people who are in leadership positions must toe the line of doing the good of the community. They are not our masters before now whom we must bow and kowtow. They are people who must hold to account, and we must be rigid in our insistence that they must go the straight line. Thank you.